Hi, everybody. Welcome to week 8 of Anthropology 330, Evolution of People, Technology, and Society for winter 2020. We are almost done with the term. This week, we will start our second to last discussion board because weeks 8 and 9 have one discussion board. I decided to split the topic up this week into 2 weeks so you have a little bit more time. Um, because I know you're all working on final papers and exams, and I'm sure most of you have other classes and things like that. So this is a busy time of the year for everyone. So this week is talking about the earliest genus Homo, the earliest members of our genus. Um, so Homo sapiens, Homo neanderthalis, Homo habilis, Homo erectus. So after this week, we will be able to describe the differences between Australopithecines and early genus Homo. We're going to be able to explain the differences between lumpers and splitters. These are two different kind of um, approaches to thinking about how we evolved. We're going to hypothesize about the impacts of climate change on our evolution, and we're going to talk about biological and social differences between Homo habilis and Homo erectus, excuse me, and then talk about physical characteristics and technology. Okay, so to complete this week, as always, we start with the readings. We only have one chapter of Larson this week and a few chapters of Wilson, and then we have this article right here from University of California, Berkeley, that explains lumping and splitting. And that article is really important to read because it'll help set the kind of stage for the discussion topic we'll have for the next 2 weeks. And then there's this optional interactive website from the Smithsonian about climate and its effects on human evolution. So just one video this week, lecture video, 5 minutes long. And then here's another Smithsonian interactive website about the human family tree, and that's also optional. Okay, and if you're doing inquisitive, there will just be one for chapter 11, and then the discussion. So for this discussion board, you only have one post this week and one post next week, so there's nothing due on Wednesday this week. So hopefully that'll give you a little bit of freedom in the middle of the week to focus on other things, your final papers or other courses or preparing for exams. And then your second post will be due Saturday of next week. So 2 straight weeks where nothing due on Wednesday. So for your first post, you have to read one of these 2 articles. The one by Milford Wolpoff, who is a lumper, and one by Chris Stringer, who is a splitter. So in each of these articles, they are discussing the model that they do not agree with. So they kind of describe the model, and then they point out the flaws that they see in it. So you will need to read both articles and discuss what they report. So I need you to look at the support that they offered. What evidence do they mention as the evidence that their opponents put forward? And then what are the challenges to this model and why do they reject it? What is their kind of one sentence summary of why they reject their opponent's position? So these articles are very they're a little more advanced than many of the articles you may have been reading. These are articles that were written within a scholarly discussion. So these are people who have been having these conversations for years and years, and they're very deeply embedded in this conversation. And so sometimes these can be really difficult to read. So hopefully throughout the term, you've been getting a little more comfortable with reading anthropological journal articles and things. So hopefully it won't be too tough. But if you are struggling to understand these papers, please let me know. I'm happy to help you work through these papers because they are a little more complicated and they do assume that the people reading them are part of the conversation already. So that's why why reading that introduction article about lumpers and splitters is really important to kind of set the stage for this. But again, you have a whole week for each of these posts and nothing due on Wednesday. So you'll have a little bit more time to work through these. Okay, so also opening up this week, but available for the rest of the term are 3 extra credit options. So this first one involves reading another article by Augustine Fuentes about how humans and apes are different. And then you will just write a one-page essay about the differences and similarities. And this doesn't have to be a formal essay. You can write as informally as you like. I just want you to discuss it. What are the differences and similarities? That is worth up to 5 points, and there's no deadline as long as you get it to me before exam week is over so that I have time to put it into your exam. And then the next is a link to that article, so you don't have to try to find it yourself. Credit option 2 is to watch this short video about the world's greatest ape and to fill out this sheet of questions for it and turn that into me. You can either email it to me, you can take a picture, write it by hand and take a picture if you want. It just get it to me somehow. And option 3 is to watch the episode Primates from the documentary series Life. So it is available on Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, it's available on a DVD from the library. There are other ways to watch things that may be less legal. I won't tell you to do those, but if you can find a way to watch this documentary series, if you have a local library and you have access to that, they often have DVDs, especially of PBS type documentaries. It's a great documentary. I watch it pretty much every term I teach this class, right around week 8. I might even watch it this evening. It's a great little documentary. And then I want you to write a discussion of this documentary. And so each of these 3 options are completely optional. You can do any of them or all of them or none of them. And so combined with the week 4 extra credit, which is also still open, you can do up to 20 points, get up to 20 points of extra credit, which can significantly bump your grade up if you're worried about your final grade. On that note, you should all have gotten your term paper outlines back. Great work across the board. I was very happy with those. I apologize, it took me a little longer than usual to grade those. It's been a real busy few weeks. Midterms are all graded. So if you have any questions about your grades, please let me know. I try to be as careful as I can in entering your grades and making sure you all get the correct grades, but I have been known to make a mistake now and then. So if you see your grade and you're surprised at it, let me know and we can take a look and make sure everyone's getting all the points that they have earned. So there will be a final exam study guide coming out sometime this week. I'll let you know when that happens. Other than that, please reach out if you would like to make some office hour appointments. I am available all week again to meet in person or online to go over papers or exam prep or anything you want to talk about. Other than that, let me know if you have any problems and have a great week.